Progressive Action TV show. Now I know y'all thinking like, Tramel, didn't you just go live yesterday? And I did go live yesterday, but one thing I want to start doing is, hold on, let me share out this live real quick because people need to watch this and see this. Start a watch party real quick. And let me share it to a few groups. Matter of fact, if you're watching right now, you should also do the same thing. Share it out to a few groups. The more people that's watching, the better. All right, yeah. So I know y'all like, yo, Tramel, you just went live yesterday. I did. And I was doing some thinking last night. I was like, you know what? Why should I limit myself on how many times I should go live a week? Why should I go live one time a week when there's information being distributed almost every day? So moving forward, I will be going live more often throughout the week, as much as possible. You guys deserve that. There's no reason in life, period. There's absolutely no reason for you to limit yourself. There's no reason to marginalize yourself. We already got outside detractors that already want to limit you, that already want to marginalize you. Why should you do it to yourself? So, like I said, moving forward, you will be seeing more of the Progressive Action TV show, hopefully more than one time a week. I will encourage my team to also go live more, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, it don't matter. We just want you guys to get the information, as much as the information as possible. I want y'all to grasp as much as y'all can, not just one time a week. Now, the same thing applies. Donate to the show. You could use our Cash App, which is on the screen. You could donate through PayPal, and you could donate through something called Patreon. Patreon, $25 a month, recurring. It's a good thing. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to get into all the advertisement, but it's important that you guys RSVP for the Progressive Action Brunch. Come out to that. We are looking for speakers from other departments. So if you're in another department, MOW, CED, MAP STOA, TA Surface, MTA bus stations, RTO, we want you guys to come out and speak and address the members at the brunch. So if you're interested at speaking at the brunch, contact me, hit me in DM, and we will arrange it for you. Now I want to get straight into the news. Yesterday, the union had a press conference, and this was posted on one of the Facebook groups, and it says, there was a press conference today at East New York Depot. TA Surface Vice President JP Patafio and MTA Acting Vice President Craig Cipriano addressed the media on the increase in assaults and what is needed to decrease this problem. These assaults have to stop. Enough is enough. Now, we all know that these assaults have to stop. And every single year, the union come out with this narrative, enough is enough. We're going to shut this down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they don't do nothing. And we must continue to point this out, that these union reps, are nothing but lip service. They are only talking to coddle us, to make us feel like that they care. But they have taken absolutely no action to hold the MTA accountable for these assaults. And it's like kind of like mind-boggling as to why the union keep doing these press conferences with the TA. How many press conferences are you going to do with the TA? The MTA is partly responsible for these assaults. They create the service, they create the equipment, When things aren't going right, bus operators is not making these decisions. It's supervisors. So the MTA put us in these positions to get assaulted, and you sit there and do press conference after press conference after press conference with the MTA is really mind-boggling. You don't need them to do a press conference. You don't need them to make the public take us serious, because they don't even take us serious to limit these assaults. And we're going to touch more into that in a few more minutes. Now, the article that came out was MTA pushes bill to make spitting on transit workers punishable by a year in jail. Before I continue, share out the show, share it to another group, start a watch party, invite people to this live. But one of the articles that came out is what's on the screen. And in this article, they talking about making spitting on transit workers, punishable by a year in jail. Now, anyone who works for transit knows that they have these stickers plastered everywhere. If you assault a transit worker or whatever, you would get at least 7 years in jail. So they go from 7 years in jail up to 7 years in jail to now making spitting on transit workers punishable by a year in jail. If the district attorneys, whom which the union support, especially in Brooklyn, Eric Gonzalez, if they can't hold them accountable for stabbings of transit workers, punching of transit workers, what makes you think they go hold them accountable for spitting? And it's punishable by up to a year in jail. It's not a year in jail. You could get community service and be out, or whatever the case is. How does that make sense? If we can't hold people in jail for attempted murder, how can we hold them in jail for spitting? And this is what I talk about with the union. They are full of lip service. Nothing but lip service. So in that article, JP, he said, if something occurs, some operators more capable of defending themselves than others, and if an operator is being assaulted and they defend themselves, the union is going to defend them, Patafio said. Now, I find that funny, and I should have had the clip up, and it just dawned on me just now. JP Patafio was at East New York Depot last week with another press conference of a bus operator who was assaulted, and he said that the MTA fired a guy who defended himself, fired a bus driver who defended himself. So what is JP talking about when he's saying that the union is going to defend them if operators defend themselves? They talking in circles. They thinking that we really not listening. We really not paying attention, but we are. We are listening and we paying attention. If a bus operator got fired for defending himself, then what is JP talking about that the union is going to defend him? And this is how you know that the union this union administration have absolutely no fight, absolutely no plan on how to combat these assaults. For one, they are not logical or forward thinkers. They think inside a box. For two, they are afraid to disrupt service or cause any type of service disruptions because they're going to have to answer to Daddy Cuomo. Now, JP will rather bus operators fight back, get suspended, and then they want to fight the MTA from behind instead of fighting the MTA in front, as far as like putting a foot down and telling the MTA, look, if you guys don't do something about these assaults, then we are going to do something. These buses are not going to pull out the depot. But they are afraid. They want us. This union is real funny. They always want the members to be martyrs. These guys are scared. They are in position to fight for us. They want us to fight, defend ourselves, which we should. But and then they help us from behind to try to save our jobs. Where's their action as far as getting in front of this and telling the TA, hey, look, you guys are responsible for these assaults too. You guys are not doing nothing about these assaults. So since you guys don't want to do nothing about these assaults, then we're going to do something. We are not going to work in an unsafe environment. This is all covered under workplace violence. All of this is covered under workplace violence, and we should not be subject to it. But the union, their plan is, because they don't really have a plan, but what they want you to do is, hey, look, really what they saying, we can't stop these assaults. There's nothing that we could do with these assaults. We can't hold the DA accountable. We can't hold the MTA accountable because we just don't know how to do it. Or frankly, we really type scared to ruffle those feathers like that. So bus operators, what I want you to do is plan A, defend yourself. And then hopefully we can save your job on the back end. And JP know that's not true because he just said last week on camera that a bus operator got fired for defending themselves. So which one is it, JP? Do you want members to defend themselves and get fired? Or do you want to step up your fight and get at the TA and tell them, hey, look, no buses will go out if these assaults keep happening because you guys are responsible for this stuff too. Us as transit workers, we cannot be the guinea pigs for their lack of fight. And that's what JP want us to do because they have no real plan of action. And it's sad. These guys are really afraid to take the heat to the MTA. What are they really afraid of? It makes absolutely no sense. And they came out with this, put this on the screen. They came out with this, I guess the Transit Authority came out with this in collaboration with the union. And it says MTA, TWU condemn rise in bus operator attacks and call for increased penalties for attacks on transit workers. I guess this is the press or whatever the MTA put out regarding this. Now, I have a major issue with this. And the major issue I have with it is that when I do something, a regular worker at their tools, non-elected, just using my voice, have a team of people to work with, and we're a movement. Whenever we do something for a particular department, and it don't even be RTO, it could be any other department, you have grown people saying, hey, what about us over here? You don't care about this department? And it's like it becomes sickening because the members are quick to hold people who really don't got the power to go inside and speak with these vice presidents of the MTA to demand things. But they don't want to hold their union reps accountable. They want to hold the regular people accountable, which is sickening, is asinine, and is stupid, to be quite honest with you. So they come out with this letter. And if you read the letter, you would think that only bus operators are being assaulted, which is untrue. And it seemed like if this union administration only caters to bus operators and MOW. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out the obvious. If you guys can be mad at me, a regular member at his tools, non-elected, for doing what I do, then why you guys aren't mad at your union leadership for doing the exact same thing that y'all accuse me of, which is untrue, but is very true as to what they're doing? Why is that? I mean, come on. I thought the motto was we are stronger together. Why did Local 100, and I'm gonna put the picture back up there again. Why did Local 100 do a press conference with a handful of people there addressing assaults. Wouldn't it make more sense to say, hey, reach out to the other union reps, the other vice presidents, and say, hey, we got to take advantage whenever the cameras are on us. Let's get in front of the camera, bring out as many people as you can. Let's stand in front of this depot as one. Stations department, RTO, MTA bus, map store. Let's all come together in front of this depot and show that it's a lot of us. We really care. I look at that press conference. I see a handful of people. I'm like, oh, you know what? They don't care about these assaults. They don't really. It don't like look. It's only a few people there. Nobody there. It make more sense to bring all the departments together, because the truth is the public is not going to see he's a cleaner, that's a train operator, this is an MTA bus operator. They're going to see us in uniform, and that's why they attack us. These people not attacking us because he's a bus operator or he's a conductor or she's a cleaner or this person a station agent or this person is a bus operator in the Bronx. They not attacking us because of that. They're attacking us because of the uniform. So it makes more sense to go out there with the uniform on for these press conferences to show that we are together, we are united, and we are tired of the BS. But it's not about being stronger together with them. It's about, let me make myself look good for my department. Let's show them that they department is trash and we better than them. They practice separatism all the time, and nobody says anything. Nobody says anything to them. So I hope they take heed to this. The next time there's a press conference, why don't you reach out and let us know that there's going to be a press conference? You think that I won't support an assault press conference where it could affect me or my brother and sister worker, no matter in what department, because we have on a uniform? You think I won't support that? The thing is that they don't want me to support that because they know I will go on camera and tell the truth, or I would tell them to their face that, hey, you guys, lack of fight is putting us in dangerous situations. Very dangerous situations. Now, as far as with the bus operators is concerned, we just came out of contract negotiations. The contract was just ratified in January. Why didn't the union put in the contract that the MTA must start having full partitions inside these buses? The union could have negotiated that in the contract. It wasn't even a part of the contract. So the union dropped the ball. Do you know what a full partition can do on a bus? The only time you would probably have to step out of that partition is at the end of, the only time you probably out of that partition is going inside the bus for a wheelchair passenger and to leave the bus. Now, if you happen to get assaulted during one of those three things, then we can't avoid that. But people are coming onto the bus at any given moment with impunity, assaulting bus operators. And don't let I'm going to take this excuse from the union right away, because I need you guys to ask that. Why didn't you guys negotiate for full partitions inside the contract? Now, I'm quite sure the union is going to say, well, the MTA said it was too expensive and they didn't want to do it. BS, because a full partition would definitely limit the amount of assaults, because you just can't be reached to be assaulted, right? So when a worker get assaulted, what happens? They go out on comp, supplemental insurance, all this stuff take place. And the MTA, the differential and all that other stuff, the MTA pay for this. They pay for the differential, right? Workers can't pay for the other stuff. Now, and then what happens when you out? When you out, somebody have to pay I mean, somebody have to do your job, which means that you're out getting paid and then somebody is in your job getting paid. But if the MTA was to get the full partition, you would limit that, which means that it'd probably be less operators getting assaulted, and it'd be less comp the MTA have to pay. So even if they said it was expensive, on the back end, they would save money on comp and insurance purposes and things of that nature. So it don't make no sense. We gonna take that excuse away from the union. Also, if there is an egregious amount of assaults going on with the full partitions, it's a simple fix to it. At the end of a line, have police officers there. So that's another way to deter assault. So really, the only time someone could get assaulted is if they, when they getting on a bus or dealing with a wheelchair. But it would drastically cut the number of assaults. The union dropped the ball by not having an MTA, by not putting in the contract that there should be full partitions in the next 4 years, regarding bus operators and things of that nature. Should be full partitions. They dropped the ball. They messed up. So I don't want to hear they not taking assault serious. These assaults were happening for a very long time under this administration. For a very long time. Why wasn't, once again, I need you guys to ask your union reps this in buses. Why wasn't full partitions negotiated into this last contract? Take away the excuse of the MTA saying it was too expensive, because the full partitions will end up paying for themselves if the amount of workers' comp cases drop as a result of assaults. They worrying about spitting. The article here is about spitting. A full partition would damn near eliminate the spitting. They would be spitting on the glass. No spit would get on the worker. Nobody going out on comp. If someone is getting aggressive, the bus operator can call for help without looking over their back or being assaulted or worrying about being punched or spit on or coffee thrown at them or things of that nature. So the union don't take assault serious either, because they not on top of their job. They not about their business, and they just not doing the right thing. They not doing the right thing. Now, I'm going to stay on JP for a little second. I found JP Twitter. And for those who don't know, JP, once again, JP Patafio, he is the vice president of TA Surface, which is the buses in Brooklyn. He don't tweet much, but one of his last tweets was a retweet of something that TWU put up, the International, and they Twitter as transport worker. Hold on one second. Yeah, so one of the last things they put up, or he retweeted, was, it says, shame on Danique Miller for not supporting congestion pricing. Danique is allegedly a friend of transit workers, not an opponent. Danique has forgotten his transit labor roots. Congestion pricing is the only sustainable solution to funding transit and protecting jobs. Now, for those who don't know, Danique Miller was the president of ATU. He is now a councilman in Queens. And I guess Samuelson tried to bash Danique Miller for not supporting congestion pricing. And the reason was because the union said congestion pricing is the only sustainable solution to funding transit and protecting jobs. Now, the reason I put that up is because back to Donald Yates, who's the division chair of MapStore, he put up something that I agree with. And it seems like Donald Yates don't agree with congestion pricing. So I'm gonna put up his tweet so we can get a better idea of what we talking about here. He said, and this was the other day, February 7th. He said, the ride shares, according to my preliminary investigations, are geared towards Queens, which has huge transportation deserts. The ride shares are supposedly built into the congestion pricing and supposed to get a commuter to a subway who lives over a half mile from the location. So the union mad at Danique Miller for not supporting congestion pricing, and Donald Yates is saying that the ride shares is built into the congestion pricing bill or legislation or whatever the case is. Now, for those who didn't know, that the MTA is contracting out work to ride shares company to address these transportation deserts that Yates is talking about. So they trying to get Uber, Lyft, those people out there, contract out the work to them. Instead of creating bus operator jobs, they'd rather contract out the work for them. And according to Yates, this is as a result of the congestion pricing. It was built into the congestion pricing plan or bill. Now, after that, Yates had tweeted, this is after the MTA had finally came out honestly about the contracting out work to rideshare companies. Yates put this: MTA partnership with ride hails to offer late night shifts. The MTA is secretly attacking union jobs as the bus redesigns are geared to kill jobs, basically. As with all the MTA touches, it will have impacts on riders. Now, the bus redesign, they said, is geared to kill jobs. And that's probably true, because I believe that with these bus redesigns, that they want to limit these jobs to close to 8 hours as much as possible. All the bus operators that got those big swings and things of that nature, I believe that those schedules will be cut, and you're going to be doing more and not making, probably making less money. You're going to be doing more work and making less money, more than likely. But the MTA partnership with ride hails to offer late night shifts, Yates is saying that they are attacking union jobs. They secretly attacking union jobs. So if Yates could see that they secretly attacking union jobs, why was JP and Samuelson mad at Danique Miller for not supporting congestion pricing? Because he knew that congestion pricing will affect union jobs. Why are they supporting congestion pricing? And not to mention, congestion pricing won't be good for MTA workers who work within that zone. Specifically speaking, Michael J. Quill Depot, which is on 40th Street in Manhattan. They will be affected, which means that they will have to pay more to come to work. Why would this union support congestion pricing? Why would they support congestion pricing, which is another tax on the average man and woman, when they not taxing these billion-dollar companies to which the service of transit bring them business? We bring them their workers. We bring them their customers. If trains don't do that and buses don't do that, then how do they make money? How do they get business? They don't get business. The MTA and the union is in support of taxing the poor, and whether it's through congestion pricing, whether it's through raising the fares, they all about taxing the average man and woman instead of taxing instead of taxing basically Wall Street. And it's an issue. But to be clear, it shows that the union, they not on the same plan. They don't have the same plan. There's things going on, and they don't have a game plan, because Donald Yates says that these rideshare companies, due to congestion pricing, is going to cut jobs and it's going to attack union jobs. But JP and Samuelson is for congestion pricing, even though it's going to attack union jobs. So this goes on to show you that they are not playing on the same field. They are not thinking as one. They not sitting down and talking to each other. They just moving on their own merit, on their own note. And that's something to pay attention to, because if you're not glued, if you're not in sync with everyone else, then how can we expect you guys to be in sync with anything else? And it shows in the contract that they are not in sync with each other. It's every department and every man for themselves. Every department and every man for themselves. And on the last show, I was talking about, Yates. And I stand by everything that I said. And I had someone comment on one of my posts and say something about you need to be attacking management and not your own brother, union brother, or whatever the case is. And that's the part I don't get. I don't get that part. It seemed like these people are not capable of chewing gum and walking at the same time. So I'm only capable of criticizing either management or union. Like, I can't criticize both at the same time from what I see as the information come to me. Like, humans are not capable of that? Or are we saying that because Yates is possibly your friend and you want to cover for him and you want to ignore all the bad stuff that he has done? Now, there was a quote that I seen out there, and I forgot how it went, but it says something to the effect of the axe. It was analogy between the axe and the trees. And even though the trees was disappearing year by year, those trees thought the axe was his friend because the handle was made out of wood. That's deep. So just because we're in the same union by default, because you can't pick and choose what union you could be a part of once you come to MTA. Once you come to MTA, by default, you're in Local 100. So just because we are Local 100, it's not possible that some reps in Local 100 do not have the best interest of the members. And if they don't have the best interest of the members, I should ignore that because they are technically my union brother or sister. Do you know how idiotic that sounds? Do you know how foolish that sounds? That sounds stupid. Now, Yates is our brother. You need to do this. Listen. Did we forget? I got this on the screen right here. Did we forget that Donald Yates forged 144 signatures in a union election? Normally, that's met by jail time in the real world. He should have been disqualified. He should have been banned from running ever again. He personally forged 144 signatures, signed them himself. He admitted to it when he got caught. He signed 144 signatures under forgery. And he was still allowed to run. Now, you call a guy like that your friend? Like, should we trust him that he felt the need that he personally had to cheat to win an election? He personally had to forge 144 signatures. We supposed to have trust in a person like that? We supposed to believe in a person like that? He knows better. That was a voluntary action against democracy, union democracy. But he's a friend, right? We should trust in him, right? Everything he says is golden and gold, right? The same guy who supports Cuomo, right? Cuomo, who's killing us as MTA workers. I mean, look, you guys are very strange. I must say, you guys are very, very strange in the way that you think, in the way that you do business. Like I said, I don't get it. Like, you guys wasn't a part of the cool table. And that's cool if you wasn't a part of the cool table. But now y'all come to unions and then y'all think y'all know it all. Y'all give the most broad and blatant excuse. Oh, we need unity. How do you go about that when you got people behaving like this? How do you go about unity when you have people promoting, like I said, I'm gonna say it again, promoting their own lynching by supporting Cuomo? How do you have unity with people who's working against the best interest of unionism? How do you do that without calling them out, without putting them on blast, without saying, hey, you're not slick, we see what you're doing, you selling us out, you are a turncoat, you are a bootlicker? Those type of people need to be exposed and put on blast. And if I was so wrong, once again, why didn't Yates call into the show and say, you know what, I'm open to debating you on whatever you want to talk about? But it's obvious. Why would you want to come here and debate me when you know that you will lose? I will expose you even more because there's a lot of stuff that I know that I don't say sometimes. That I know and I just don't say. I welcome. Well, matter of fact, anybody that's in Map Store that's listening to this show. Anybody in Map Store that's listening to this show. Do me a favor. Tell Donald Yates to text me, call me, or whatever, and let's arrange for him to call into the show and speak about whatever he wants to speak about. Tell him to call into the show. It's not about, you want a real union rep. You not a real union rep. You cheated in the election, bruh. You giving out wrong information, bruh. And like I said, I'm not saying that Donald Yates ain't cool because I spoke to him on the phone plenty of times. We had real conversations. But politically, he's not smart. He's a soldier. Like I said, he's the type of guy they put out there. You go out there first. Hopefully you don't get killed and you make it back home. But we go send you out there first. You're like the guinea pig, the test dummy. You know, that type of stuff. That's how they treat him. Look at it. Go find his Twitter and look at his Twitter videos. He's bouncing in front of buses. Yeah. We're going to show this. Man, get out of here with that silly stuff, man. You think the TA don't see through that? Is that what y'all call fighting back? Nah, neither. Full partitions ain't going on no all buses. Know what I'm saying? So cut it out, man. Like, y'all, like I said this on the last show. Real don't recognize real. Real recognize everything. The reason why they can't find a way on how to interact with me because they not used to someone like me. They don't know how to react to progressive action. Nobody in progressive action. They don't know how to deal with us because they never dealt with us on this type of level before. They say, oh, don't listen to what you see on the internet, because the reason they say stay away from the internet because they don't control the narrative on the internet. What they want to do, like any other manipulative oppressor would do. Let me pull you in this room and tell you what's really going on. Instead of addressing the crowd, let me pull you in the room and tell you what's really going on. Like, if someone was antagonizing me and they had a platform and I know that they wrong and I know that I could shut them down, I know I got the information, you know what I'm going to do? I'm calling them. Yo, when we doing this interview on your show, because we gotta handle this. Let's do this on the show, because I know that if I shut that other person down, their credibility is done. Right? Once again, tell Yates to call into the show. I'm more than willing to speak with him about anything. So tell him to call in, man. Tell him to stop playing around. But we all know why he ducking and why he's dodging. Now, yesterday, yo, could y'all share out the show? Could y'all hit the like button, the thumbs up button, and things of that nature? Hold on, before I continue, donations haven't been good lately. They haven't been good. I need you guys to donate to the Cash App. It's on the screen. I need you guys to donate to the PayPal. It's within the link of the video. Please donate. And if you really want to show your support for Progressive Action, become a Progressive Action Patreon. That's in the link of the video too. Now let's finish up this show. Yesterday, I put up a picture of conductor Augustine Edmonds, 32 years on the job. And he had an accident, something happened to him at work, fell in between the running rail, third rail, bust his face open. The TA supervision allegedly set him in the locker room to get his thoughts or whatever together, get his mental together. They didn't allow him to finish his work or whatever the case is, allegedly. And a couple of days later, he ended up going into a coma. After that, he fell into a vegetative state. Currently, he's in a vegetative state in a hospice, and the doctors are saying that he's in grave condition and he may not make it. And this is all because the MTA refused to fill out IODs, injury on duties. They would rather us sit out or whatever to avoid filling out an injury on duty, because that's just how they operate. They hate to fill out the paperwork, and they don't care what kind of condition you in. They would do everything in their power to coerce you not to fill out an IOD. Now, after I did the show yesterday, I went to work, and I had a coworker come up to me and say, "Tremel, I like what you did on the show." And that's not the first time that happened. That happened a couple of years ago too, like around 2016, where let me put this screenshot on the screen. It was another conductor. He ended up passing out at work, and I believe this was at Stillwell. He ended up passing out at work, and allegedly, and according to the source, said that a conductor on Y, who I know who it is, allegedly a supervisor allowed the Y conductor on Y to drive this individual home in order to avoid filling out the IOD. So the what's his name? His conductor, Harry Martin, he passed out at Stillwell, and in order they didn't want to fill out the IOD, they arranged for a conductor on WA who had WA to drive this individual home. Allegedly, during the drive home, Mr. Martin passed out again or something like that. And the person who drove him home didn't take him to the hospital. I guess if he would have took him to the hospital and they would have seen that he was on WA, they would have probably asked him, well, you know, once the TA got involved, like how you was on WA and you drove him to the hospital, what happened or whatever the case is. So he ended up continue to drive the conductor home. So the next day, the conductor was found in his home, passed out again. They rushed him to the hospital. Come to find out, he had a stroke. As the result of the stroke, Mr. Martin lost his memory, and I believe he had like 20-something years on the job. And when coworkers was going to visit him, he couldn't remember who these coworkers were, so he lost his memory as a result of, you know, the negligence originally by the TA. Because if he would have passed out, they would have called the ambulance, fill out the IOD, then this conductor wouldn't have probably been in the condition that he was in, because he would have had the medical help that he needed. This is just another example, and people are coming to me with other examples of how system-wide supervision, superintendents, other supervisors coerce workers not to fill out IOD reports. And this is not a one-off thing. This is something that is spread throughout the property. This is the practice, unknown practice or a practice that they know about. And then when I say they, I mean the people at 2 Broadway, the real managers at 2 Broadway, 130 Livingston. They know that this goes on. I'm quite sure. But being that they never got heat for it, or nobody never really brought it up on a big platform, they tend to ignore it. But it exists. And actually, somebody had reached out to me this morning, and they got some lawyer friends. They told some lawyer friends about the incidents that I talked about on the show. And the lawyers is very interested to talking with some of these families on the actions of the TA. So I got to reach out to some people to see if they want to go that route or whatever the case is. Because I don't know if they got lawyers or whatever the case is. But this needs to be fixed. This is a problem on New York City transit property of supervisors talking workers out of IODs. And it's pretty much humiliating. Like, you could hurt your hand at work, and in order for the TA to discourage you or make you feel like you're guilty or whatever the case is, they send you downtown to go pee in a cup. So if you hurt your elbow on something or you smash your hand or something, yeah, if you're going out on IOD, you got to go pee in a cup. And that is basically to deter you. I don't see the reason for it. It makes no sense. And if that's the case, then why did they allow Mr. Edmonds? I'm gonna put his picture back up. Why did they allow Mr. Edmonds to go home without him going to pee in a cup? Because, like I said, for argument's sake, I'm not saying that he was. How do we know he was fit for duty? They don't know, but they were so much in a rush to suppress that IOD paperwork that they decided to just let him sit and go home. And like I said, this is not a one-off thing. Something else came up. Somebody pointed something else out to me, and they said, look, it happened at Stillwell Terminal at one time too. So, and I know for a fact, I know people who got hurt, and they told me superintendents tried to talk them out of IODs and things of that nature. Even with someone on my team, I think they was going through a wash, and the water got into their eyes, and the superintendent was doing everything in their power to try to get them not to fill out an IOD. So let's not think that these situations are one-off situations. We just not talking about them. We just not exposing it enough. And I'm quite sure the TA probably go call me and say, Tramel, we want to talk about this. Well, I don't think I want to talk about this. I think I want to see you guys do your investigation. I want to see how corrupt y'all guys go be in the investigation. I want to see the results of this investigation, and then I'll talk and finish. Because I actually got pictures of Mr. Edmonds in his vegetative state, with hooked to hooked up to a respirator. And when I seen the picture myself, I was very hurt. I was very upset, and it bothered me a lot. And I'm not going to post that picture, because even though I got permission to post it, I'm not going to post that picture. But if I want to make a news story out of it, I will post it so people could get the harsh truths on how the MTA treat us, and to see a brother in that predicament in a bed with hooked up to respirators. It's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight, especially I know how the TA treat us when it comes to injuries. It's very upsetting, to be honest with you. Very, 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 very upsetting, man. But we're going to continue to expose the TA for everything that they do. We go continue to do it. Now, y'all remember when Pat Foy said that Utano is running a drug specialty scam? Y'all remember that? And they made a big stink about it. The union made a big stink about it. Oh, just because he's Italian and you think that he's a crook and things of that nature, and he's a family man, and he's this, he's that. Well, you know what? I was doing some Googling this morning, and I came across this, put out there by the union, of course. And I pretty much got it underlined on the piece I want to put out, but I'm gonna read the whole sentence. It says MOW Vice President Tony Utano. He was the vice president at the time, so he wasn't the president yet. But this was in 2016. It says MOW Vice President Tony Utano, affectionately introduced by LES Chair John Chiarello as Local 100's own godfather. Let that marinate. He called Utano the Godfather. Now, when we think about Godfather, what is Godfather related to? The mafia, extortion, La Cosa Nostra. You relate. That's what you think about the Godfather when you think about things like that. So they called Tony Utano, the union called Tony Utano the Godfather, and they not calling the black man the Godfather. They calling the Italian guy the Godfather because of his Italian roots. So how can you be mad at Pat Foy for saying that he's running a drug specialty scam when the union themselves call Tony Utano the Godfather? Local 100's Godfather. He wasn't the president at the time, but he's Local 100's Godfather. How can you be mad at Pat Foy for saying that when y'all guys consider Utano the Godfather? It makes absolutely no sense. What goes on to show me that this whole contract fight was a joke, because if you consider Utano the Godfather of Local 100, then why are you mad at Pat Foy for saying he's running a drug specialty scam? It makes no sense. Now, I take offense to that the union considers our president the Godfather. What does that mean? How should you interpret that? Is he only for Italians? Why are we associating our union with possible criminal activity? Let me see something real quick. But why are we associating our union with that? Now, the Godfather in Italian terms is normally mean, the boss, the main guy. Is never related to anything good. So why would you call him the Godfather of Local 100? I don't want to be led by no Godfather. He's not even fighting like a Godfather. Like these guys are. I wish, you want to know what? I wish Utano was the Godfather, because he wouldn't be bowing down to Cuomo or any other of these politicians. I wish he was a Godfather. He wouldn't be punked around and being pushed around by the TA, being punked around, pushed around by the union. By the governor. I wish he was the Godfather. But the way it look is that Cuomo is really the Godfather, to be honest with you. But I want to show y'all this again, because I just remember something. During that press conference that they had yesterday at East New York Depot, did anybody see any of their political friends out there? Did anybody see any politicians out there? If you go to my last show, we was talking about the COPE, how the union give COPE money to these politicians, and we give it to them for their campaigns, and after their campaigns, they disappear, and we don't hear nothing else from them again. Where was these politicians at? Not one politician was out there yesterday for these rash of assaults on bus operators in East New York. Where were these politicians that we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to, that we gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to? Where are they? Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be found. So why do we keep giving them our money? Like I said, we only give these politicians the money so our union reps can rub elbows with people they normally wouldn't be able to rub elbows with in life. They use our money. They use us as pawns to put themselves personally in better positions and not us union members. We get the scraps of the bills. We don't get nothing. Ask a union rep when the last time we really got something. They go say, oh, we got the assault bill, or the assault bill is trash. It's not working. We got the veterans bill. Okay, that was good. What's the other bill? Oh, the Janus bill. Janus bill is trash. Janus will be non-existent if unions leadership actually did what they had to do, because I'm quite sure nobody's going to be trying to opt out of the NYPD because they know what's his dude name? Pat Lynch got their back, right? But there's going to be people who's going to opt out of a local 100 because they know that Utano don't have our back. It's all about personal gain, personal interest, and things of that nature. Things of that nature. Yeah. So moving forward with these shows, I'm going to be doing the shows more than one time a week. I'm going to try. I'm going to encourage my team to start going live more, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, it don't matter. We got our own TV channel, Progressive Action TV. Why should you guys wait once a week to get information when information comes all the time? Now, I try to go live maybe two times a week because these lives take an hour and it take a while to set up, and the equipment, things of that nature. And me having actual time before I go to work. I go to the gym in the morning. I read books. I may want to get on my guitar. I may want to do whatever. Make a move in the morning. Go visit a depot, a terminal, whatever the case is. But I am going to try to do these lives a little bit more often. Like I said, the donations are very important and help out with a lot of the show, because this show has its own set of bills. It's things that I have to pay for monthly within the show, the upkeep of the program, new equipment, to make the show better for you guys. It takes a lot to run a show, and donations is the way to keep that going. So donate to the Cash App, donate to the PayPal, donate to the Patreon. I need more Patreon subscribers, people who really follow the movement, people who really support the movement. When the show go off, you will see in the description of the show under this live on Facebook how to donate. Just click on the Patreon link, follow the directions, and you will become a subscriber, $25 a month. And it's very important that you guys get on all of our social media. Get on our Twitter. Get on our Facebook. Get on our YouTube. Get on our Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Get on our website, progressiveaction.info. If you want to be an integral part of the Progressive Action team, send me a message. If you have any type of particular skills, whether it's writing skills, like you want to do the articles for progressiveaction.info and things of that nature, I'm looking for writers for the website. If you're interested in writing for the website on a daily basis, putting out articles, putting out information, please contact me. I need that. And also, like I said, for the upcoming brunch, which is April 4th, we are looking for people from other departments to speak. Don't matter the department, stations, CED, MOW, MTA bus, map store, TA surface, RTO, even my department. It's good to get different perspectives. It's good to get different people involved. It's good to share information. So if you're interested in wanting to be a speaker for your department so we could understand each other more, please feel free to reach out to me so we could talk about how we could go about doing that and making that happen, because I want to make it happen. Bring more people to the brunch. The first one was a success. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's not stop that momentum. You understand? But what I would like to say, shout out to my team. They keep things afloat when I'm not afloat. Everybody's working on something. Everybody got things to do. And we gonna make some noise and we gonna make some moves, and we not taking no prisoners, and we staying sucker free this whole entire time. Thanks for tuning in for the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.